right, hello. How you guys doing? Welcome back. Let's go ahead and just jump right on in here. Okay, I want to code for probably a few hours. Um, it should be fairly straightforward. Okay, these are the features I want to add today. So this is a part 2 stream of my ongoing streams for today of January 3rd, 2025. Hello, Mahan. Welcome in. Welcome. How are you doing? Welcome back. Awesome, you guys are coming back in today. Long time no see, huh? All right. So these are the features I want to add today to our small business manager. Um, hey Edwards, welcome in. How you doing? Good evening. Welcome back. It's awesome to hear from you. How's it going? How you guys doing? Let me know what you guys are working on. Okay. So these are the features I want to work on today. Um, so this is the small business manager that we've been working on. Okay. So let's just get into it. Shipping charge when items are sold. Hmm. So I think I want to give this, like, I keep coming back and having to add additional parameters to these items. So I think I might just place some placeholders and, you know, hey Wing Hong, welcome back. How you doing today? You guys are here. Could you throw a like on the stream? I'd really appreciate it. We're going to be building up some of our project here. Okay, so I think I want to create just some dummy parameters here. So um, what do you guys think? So should I just keep adding on instance variables or attributes to these class items, or should I create a new class called like shipping that has its own attributes and then load in the item into that shipping class? What do you think would be easier? Okay, that's a good idea, Mahan. All right, so we have a mode class here. Takes in sold item. Delete this. Okay, let's do that. I'm setting CS50 AI with Python from Harvard. Awesome, Edwards. That's real awesome. You have to let me know how that goes. Let me know how that goes. Okay, so all right, then let's go um operations.py, and let's go ahead and go menu my, so this is our main menu. This is just main function. This is run system or main menu. I'm gonna go here and go main menu, change this. Then I'm gonna go here, everywhere I have run system, going to change this with main menu. Is there a way to do a swap? Like find and select? replace with main menu. Perfect. Now what we'll do, so now that we have this as main menu now, not run system, just so it's more defined that way. Hey Pablo, welcome back. This is part 2 stream. We just loaded up for the afternoon double feature of today. I had work off today, so I had nothing better to do. Might as well learn some Python and hang out with you guys. So I appreciate you guys joining me. And even if you're not really paying attention to what we're working on, you can work on your own independent projects, and we can just hold each other accountable by working side by side. So thanks so much for coming in today, you guys. Okay, so main menu. So inventory menu, I'm gonna go here, instead of run inventory function, we're going to replace this with inventory menu. All right, and then let's go ahead and do this. Replace, 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 and replace. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, you guys are so nice. Wing Hong, yeah. I try to motivate you guys, definitely. Hey, Moet, appreciate you coming in. Thanks so much for leaving a message. You're so kind. How are you doing today? What are you working on? What's keeping you productive here? How's it going? Okay, so we have a main menu function now. I'm just refactoring some of my code here to be a little bit more concise and clear. Okay, we have inventory menu. So then in inventory manager, that's fine. Run find edit item. Okay, so main menu, inventory menu. We have add item. So maybe we should rename this to menus.py, or main.py is fine, I guess. We'll keep all our menus in here. Find edit, this is a create menu. Run add item, add new item to inventory with a set name. This is the edit item menu. Okay. And then transact item menu. Cool. So we have these operational functions here. I'm going to take them. Make sure that this guy's open. Take them. I'm going to copy these guys into here as this. Go back into here, and I'm going to delete them. Hold on. Operations.py. Delete this. Main.py. Take this item search by number. Take all of our operational functions here. Here we go. Command X. Command Y. Or Command V. Boom. Now we have these in this file. just to kind of spread things out. Wengang, this is my third day on the same problem in LeetCode. I'd say put each function in one pie name like the function name, and then move the same functionalities operation display into a folder name functionality, operational functions, display functions. Gotcha. Edwards, Michael, in the future versions of this project, do you plan to use a database? SQLite would be a great, simple, and effective. Yeah, Edwards, I'm totally down for that. I've never actually, learned it personally, so um, when I get there in the CS50X course, I think we are going to learn about SQL. We will probably try to implement some stuff. So yeah, soon, definitely. Hi, Christy, welcome back. How you doing? Hey, Ellis Dominguez, welcome back. I don't bother getting stuck on LeetCode problems for over 10 minutes. Usually if you're stuck, it's because you don't know the proper technique or approach needed. That's a good point of view to take. I like that. So operations. So now in our main function, we're going to go from operations, import all. So now that'll take care of those. Now we can still run this. Oh, hold on, we need import CSV, OS, and date time. I'll take these guys here. Like there. Okay. And now we should be able to run leash. CSV isn't actually used here, so we'll take that out and take those out. Boom. Okay. So now if we go ahead and clear out of this and run this main function, we should still be able to use our program here. Okay, so now we don't. Main line 16 load items. Line 72. Load file line 72. All items load file type. Did you mean it or item not defined? Okay, we need to import items class here. Like that. Now that should be able to take care of it. There we go. Okay, now we're in. Okay, so now we're into our function here. Cool. And we have our menus here. Okay. On my operations. Edit item. So edit item menu. Transact item menu. Transactions menu. Okay, cool. So everything should still be working. Oh, items undefined. Shoot. So this is in our search function. All items is not defined. On line 307 of operations.py. All items. Huh. Ah, it's getting to, yeah, dang it. I don't think I want to do this actually. Because too many of my functions already incorporate a lot of my, it's too intertwined at this point, unfortunately. So I'll just have to keep that in mind for next time. For my next project, I'll just keep in mind better file separation and everything. Because at this point, it's just going to it would take me way too long to kind of refactor everything. It's too far gone, unfortunately, and I just don't want to waste my time breaking and fixing something that kind of doesn't need to be broken, unfortunately. Um, hmm, yeah, it's all right. I don't want to really change much stuff, so let's just keep going as it is here. I'm gonna just bring these down. We'll just say like, okay, well, every time I do that, okay. All right, let's just move on here. It's all right. No worries. No harm done. Okay, shipping charges when items are sold. So I'm tired of having to add in attributes. Like we are constantly having to go back now and add in attributes and add in things to save and stuff. So I kind of want to make a bunch of placeholders just to have, and then I can come back and fill them in with any additional attributes I would like to save associated with these items. So knowing that, I'm going to take our active, I'm going to bring this down, and I'm going to call self here a bunch. Um, placeholder 1 equals none. So I'm going to copy this down a bunch of times and have these just be additional parameters that I can then fill in. I think I'm going to have 10. Right? So now we have placeholder parameters here that are established with default values of none. And then what we can do is when we come here and we need to come down to our operational functions, and when we load a file, We're going to load. I'm going to copy this down a bunch here. So 8, this is going to be 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18, right? Actually, hold on. Wait, that was dumb of me. I need to go like this. Copy this one down, change this to whatever. Change this to 9. Change the name first before I duplicate to placeholder 1. Right? Copy this down. Placeholder 2 into 10. Copy this down. Just a bunch. Okay, now this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and one more for 10. This is going to be 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, and 18. Okay, so now we have these 10 placeholders being saved appropriately, and then our active we set in the 19th. Okay. And then we need to put these here as well. So I'm going to take these, Control C, item sold price here, item placeholder. So place, we're going to take item dot, copy this over, paste down the edge of these, each one of these. Cool. And then we set this to placeholder 1, placeholder 2, placeholder 3, placeholder 4, placeholder 5, placeholder 6, almost there, placeholder 7, placeholder 8, placeholder 9, placeholder 10. All right. Got a lot of chats here, you guys. You knew you should be doing NeetCode 150, so that's for basic prep for interview. I thought NeetCode 150 was compiled for the purpose of most effective list of questions and trying to prep for interviews. Oh, okay, gotcha. Even if you solve the problem, watch the solution. Hard and medium questions cover many different techniques and concepts at once. Easy ones usually cover a single one. Try some easy ones for a topic of the medium difficulty ones. Sometimes I think it's right, or even if you learn different mindsets. Hey, Virtual, welcome in. Appreciate you coming in. All right, so now we have that happening. So now we need to do the writing here. Again, so I'm going to take these, copy, copy them, and then sold price here, paste here. I'm going to put this, just going to delete these. And then we need to wrap these in quotes. Oh my gosh, this is going to take forever. Okay, and then quote here. Like so. Ooh. And then we need commas. Like so. All right, so that'll write those rows. Now we just need to edit the save file here. So we'll take these. Copy this. Sold price here. We'll tab these in like so. Item dot. These guys here. Copy. Put it here. And then delete these. Right? Perfect. So now that should work appropriately. Okay. Now if I go ahead and clear out this file and actually delete it, right? I could even delete it just to have more, right? I go to my main.py and I run. I press enter, right? We're entered into our program here. And we get our item CSV file now. And if I zoom way out, we have, I'll just zoom in, I guess. Hold on, we'll just press Option Z. Item number, name, size, cost, date created, date listed, listing price, date sold, sold price, placeholder 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and active. So cool. You're missing a 0 on the latest item placeholder. Where? Oh, here. Thank you. Okay, now we'll just exit out of this. Okay, clear. All right, nice. So if I run this, we get this example here. We have our file set up. And then, yes. And then now if we go ahead and go inventory. So I'm getting a lot of spacing up here, but it's nothing up there though. So I guess this is the top of our terminal. It's just visual. So now we can add an item. We'll take this test item. Okay, hold on, actually, let's command out of this and let's do a demo for those that are here. All right, so hello everybody, my name is Michael. Thanks so much for joining me here. Sorry, I've just been working on this. I really appreciate you guys coming in and spending some time with me this evening. I did a earlier stream this morning where we worked on our Harvard CS50X course that we just started. We actually today completed the week 0 problem set. We started and watched the lecture live on stream on the 1st of January 2025 where they relaunched their 2025 course. And then we did a live watch along. We had a lot of people tune in for that. It was super awesome. I think we gained almost 40 subscribers just in that stream alone. So it was a huge day for us. Thank you guys so much for following along and joining me. You guys are awesome. Yeah, so we did that. And then this morning, we completed the week 0 problem set where we made a small little game in Scratch that just kind of had some basic parameters. We had a dinosaur that just chomped on some apples and went around the screen and collected a score. It was just very simple just to kind of get through that problem set because we're not really focused on Scratch. We kind of already know that stuff. It was just mainly kind of introducing you into programming, but again, we're going to just get into the nitty gritty of the rest of the week. So we got through that and we submitted that problem. So I'm going to actually, will upload to probably tomorrow morning the part 2 watch along condensed version. So I recorded the stream and I chopped it up and condensed it to just the actual when the lecture and me reacting and typing up my notes and stuff. So just kind of the important things, and skipped over all the little in lecture games and stuff that they showed and all that stuff in videos. In just a condensed version, I uploaded the part one to my channel this morning, and I'll upload the part two tomorrow morning. Um, yeah, and then so go check that out, or you can just go back and watch the entire stream on January 1st if you want to see the full, authentic, stream from when we watched it together. But yeah, so that was this morning, and so now we're just doing some coding practice on a project that we're working on, which is the small business manager. So the small business manager is just as it says, it can manage your small business. It will take in your inventory items. It will allow you to convert those items to for sale status or a sold status, um, and then take in various data and formulate reports for revenues and various cost of goods and accounting and tax purposes. Now, hopefully, I'll also add in a way to track and load in expenses, and then we can take those two data points and offset them against each other and provide even more in-depth reports and charting and business-related information. So, but right now we've been setting up the actual system so far, live on stream, of actually loading in items, converting those items, and we're getting pretty far here. But I just added in I was having to go back and add in additional features and just update my code every single time. So I just bit the bullet and added in 10 additional dummy placeholder attributes that we can now override and save various information such as shipping charges, shipping methods, yada yada yada. Cool. So that is great. Now I'll give a demo of what this project actually is. So if we go ahead and run the project, we are prompted with this menu here, which is, would you like to open Small Business Manager, and we'll enter. So our main menu here has the two menu options of inventory and transactions so far. So we can go into the inventory menu, and I'm just going to load up this item CSV file that was created in the back end of our function or of our program. It loads and creates this for you, and demonstrate what's kind of going on here. So let me kind of see if I can shrink this over a little bit so you can see what's going on. So if I go ahead and add in an item to the system, we make this test item, and we give it a cost. Now I give it a cost ABC. Well, that's an error. I have to use integers for cost of good of either a 12 or 12.56 or 12.00, right? So I can give it I have to give it an integer. I can give it even decimals. It'll do the auto conversions for me from whole dollars into whole cents, so we don't have to actually go into floats. We can keep everything into whole integer values, which is great for processing currency and data that way. We have an item size. I have to give it a specific item size within this set. So we have extra small, small, large, extra small. For some reason, it's displaying them not in the order of the actual set that I had displayed, so we might need to fix that, but we'll say this is a medium. We'll use today's date to load in the item by pressing 1, or we can override this by pressing 2 and giving in some date within this format. So we can say that this item was purchased or acquired back on Halloween of last year. And then let's say we acquired one individual of these items. And so we actually have an error here because we implemented some additional stuff. So let's see where we went wrong. Item has no attribute placeholder one. Did you mean placeholder one? Oh no, did I not? I put a... No, that is so annoying. Okay, so I put in an extra decimal or extra whatever it is in all of these. So let me get rid of the placeholder. Right, and then we'll save this placeholder. That's a bonehead move by me there. So placeholder, take these out. For consistency, take these out. Nice. And we'll take these ones out. Nice. Okay, so now let's try that one more time. Yes, inventory, add an item, test item. Cost would be, let's say cost is $14.50 to acquire. Item size would be, let's say this was a large. We will go ahead and say no, we're going to override and use 2024-10-31, and let's say we had, let me move this over, one of these items. So now when I press enter here, boom, as you can see, we had an item populated and loaded actually into our file. So it saved into our file, into our database here, and yeah, it's really cool. So everything is saved there, and now we have all these placeholders for additional attributes that now we can add and override when the time comes. So that's really cool. So we need to add in a shipping charge. So let's get caught up on some chats here. Hey Adele, welcome in. Hey, I might not stay a lot for today. I just want to drop in and say, hey, no worries. Whatever you need to do, take care of it. As long as you stopped in, that's all that really matters. Thanks so much for coming in. Appreciate you. It's awesome. All right, so that's saving everything appropriately. Okay. So what do we want to do next? We want to add in a shipping charge option. So we're going to say, so in the transactions menu, we're going to transact an item with an item search. Hey, Abdulaz. I appreciate you for coming in. Well, I also came in to say hi. I don't really understand those. Much support. Awesome. Thanks so much for coming in. Okay, so we're going to search for an item. Okay. We're going to search for item number 1, right? Because that's the only item that we have in our system here. I need to catch up on homework. I'll watch the video you upload. Which one are you gonna watch? The CS50X one that we did? All right. So now we're pulling up that item, and we want to transact this item as sold. So if we want to transact this item as for sale, but we press 1 here, we'll use today's date and cost would be, let's say it was like 25, right? So that updated that item there. Perfect. Now if we go item search, item number 1, and press item for sale again, error. Item number 1 is already for sale with this date listed. Script Serpent, welcome in. What's good? Appreciate you coming in. How you doing today? Yeah, Adele, it's a great chat, you guys. You guys are the beating heart behind this. Thank you so much, you guys, for being so supportive of everybody. So if we press, now we transact this for sale, sold, yes, cost would be, let's say we sold it for 50. Okay, cool. And now we have 10 placeholders here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Perfect. With an active status of true. So now if we go to transact item, if the user, this is transact item for sale, transact item sold, main menu. If we transact item sold, I do want to refactor this cost of goods sold function. So set cost of good. I want it to take in a string parameter of cost type in the form of a stir, right? I'm going to make this an F string, make this go cost type right there. Cool. Hey ProDoc, welcome in. How you doing? Welcome back. Welcome back. So now we have that. So what we need to do is we have for set cost of good function, we need to provide a cost type here of sold price as our stir. And that has that already. So we just need just the stir, not the colon. Like that. Now I'm going to command F and do set cost of good. I'm going to search for these. So this is run add item. So this one would be, what would be the name for this one? Acquisition cost. Acquisition. That's not how you spell acquisition. Acquisition cost. Like so. Adele said, Michael, have you heard of Tkinter? It might be good to look into or another UI tool to make your application more pleasing. Yeah, exactly. I have been suggested that quite a few times actually, and I really want to work on using Tkinter and applying a user interface to this program. My goal was to get kind of a version 1 established that can kind of do a majority of the things, and then for version like 2.0 or from there, convert that over into a user interface style. So I kind of wanted to get like a bare bones going and then convert that all over into a UI. Once we know where all like the functionality is going and everything. Right. So yeah, definitely we're gonna do that for sure. So there's that one we need to do. Set cost of good. This is for edit. So this one's also going to be acquisition cost or updated acquisition cost. Like that. And then we're going to find the other one. For here, for sale price, we'll say for sale price or listing price rather would be fine. And then great, that's all of them. So now if we go ahead and do exit out of this, clear, and run our program, we press yes and go inventory, add item. Item name will be test item 2 acquisition cost right there. Perfect. Now we'll say that's 10. Item size medium. Today's date yes. Quantity 1. I go to my items. That got saved right there. Cool. Now if I go transactions, or no, go main menu, inventory, edit item, item number 2, that pulled it. We're going to edit the cost of the good. Right, update the acquisition cost. To like 2. and then we go back. That does that save there. Perfect. So I want it as acquisition cost or cost of goods sold? Probably cost of goods sold, just to be consistent with the variable name. Cost of good, right? And then let's keep going, find the next one. Update cost of good, like so. We exit out of this. If we run, yes, transact inventory, find edit item number 1, edit number 3, update cost of good with let's say 100. Boom, that got updated. And 6, and we come here. Right there, that got saved as 10,000 cents. Cool. I'm making a small port scanner. Oh, awesome. What does that kind of entail? All right. Nice. Nice. Okay. That's cool. So now if we go main menu, go transactions, item search, item number 2, cost of good, transact item, list item for sale, use today's date, listing price, 100. Cool. That updated appropriately and use the listing price. So if we go item search, number 1. That item is sold. Already sold. It's already for sale. Cool. Nice. Okay, so now I think we're ready to give it a shipping charge because, all right, now we've got all that organized. So when an item is sold, right, that's when it will receive a shipping charge, and we need a shipping method. Now, I'm not really caring to track. They can use some other third-party software or shipping software to track the date shipped or whatever. I don't really care to access that information. All I really care about is the, you know, the the method, whether it was delivery or whether it was mail, right? Because if it was mail, then you could go ahead and find it. Um, if it was in whatever system, right? So we need to add in a new attribute. It's a self dot ship method, and then self dot ship price, right? So I'm going to say for here, if self dot ship method is equal to quote delivery, right? We are going to assign self.shipPrice to none, else self.shipPrice is going to be equal no, I'm not going to do this. This is dumb. We're just going to leave it at none for now. So ship method is ship price none. So now we need to add in into here, go to our edit item, transact item, load file. So placeholder 1 now becomes ship method. Placeholder 2 now becomes ship price, right? Ship method and ship price. Okay, these become those. Ship method, ship price. This goes to ship method, ship price. Just to save those. And then we need to override those here as ship method and ship price. And then when we save the file, we're going to save ship method, ship price, and then here as well, sorry, ship method and ship price. Cool. Now if we go ahead and delete this file CSV, we exit, no, let's just clear out of that like that, and then let's go ahead and run here. Yes. Okay, we got item CSV, and we should have those updated. So placeholder 1 and 2, that's not appropriate, so it should be, let me Command F here, placeholder 1. Oh, this is because this is the same file still. So now if I exit, actually, it'll override and change those. Perfect. Woo! Nice. So now we have two new attributes of ship method and ship price, which by default are none unless we fill in with a sold, and we convert this to sold. So now let's go add to our sold conversion that we're going to need shipping method and price. So transact item, case 2, which is where the item is sold. We're getting a sold price. We need to set ship method is equal to set ship method. Right? And then we have ship price equals to get cost of good, or set cost of good for the specific of shipping price, like so. So now we need to define this function of set the ship method. So in our operational functions, we're going to here, instead of the, right here where we have all of our set functions happening, def set ship method, right? So we're going to user input is equal to our create menu function, and we're going to ask the user for the prompt will say, please select from the following shipping methods. Please select a shipping method. Please select shipping method, right? And then for our receiving answers, we're going to say, what would it be? So we have delivery, a transportation method, or a shipping method. Delivery, shipping. What other methods would there be? Delivery, shipping, or modes of transportation? All right. Yeah, I don't mind. As long as it's a script server, you can post that in the generals. Everything, as long as it pertains to program and stuff, we should be all good. No worries. Pablo, is this in C or something? Does it show like your active listening ports? I'm gonna call it a night. Good luck on all your projects. Okay. In Windows, can you use a control D to replace all the similar occurrences at once? I think there should be a similar command for Mac too. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, there probably is. I need to get better at these commands for sure. All right. User input is equal to this create menu. We're going to say match user input with the following cases of for case where the user presses 1, we're going to say this is the delivery menu, return quote delivery, case 2, we're going to return, we're going to prompt the user again. Oh no. How about a 2-day delivery, an additional fee, and a standard delivery? Okay, that's a good idea. So we'll say standard ship, and we'll say expedited or rushed. Expedited shipping. Is that how you spell expedited? Expedited. Expeded. Expedited. Okay, cool. Expedited shipping. Nice. If the user presses return, standard ship. And then case 3, return expedited, right? And then we need a 4 for main menu, right? So in case 4, we're going to call main menu function again. And then okay, so now let's see what that does. So I press yes, transact item, item search, item number 2, transact item as for sale. It should already be for sale. Transact item as sold. Use today's date. Yes. Sold price 100. Create menu takes 2 to, but 5 were given. Oh. Need to wrap these in a list. There we go. Now, yes. Transactions. Item search 2. Transact for sale. Yes. Sold price 100. Please select a shipping method. Okay, so this needs to be exactly as we wrote it. So please, we'll say select shipping. We'll select method. Method, delivery, standard shipping, expedited shipping. Okay. Perfect. So now if we say 4 here, we go back to main menu, we just break out of this. So transactions, item search, item number 2, for sale, yes. Sold price 100. We'll say this was standard shipping. Shipping price now would be let's say that it costs us $5 to ship this. Boom. So now, right, we have a ship method that was returned. We have ship price that was now returned. And we need to now assign these values and save them as they're appropriate. Value in the item itself. So we'll assign these values that we received from the user to what we received to the actual instance variable itself. So ship price. So now you should see this get filled in for ship method and price for both of these items. I will need to make a new item and make it, or just remove the date listed, or sorry, the sold price and this listing price, or this date sold, because it won't let you transact an already sold item, right? So now we'll go item search, item number 2, transact item is, if we go 1, right, this is already for sale. It has a filled in date listed and a listing price right here. So we can't list it for sale again, but we can transact it as sold. So let's press 2. Okay. Oh, it's because I removed it when I was already in the program. So we'll go, let me just delete the item itself. Run here, yes. Transactions, item search. We don't have actually any items, so we need to go inventory, add item, test. Cost would be, let's say, cost us $5 to acquire. It's a medium. We acquired it today, and we have one of them. There it is. It got loaded right in there above me, right up there, right up there. um, so now if we go transactions, item search, item number one, we can list this item as for sale. Use current date. Listing price would be medium, or sorry, 10. Perfect. Now we go item number search, item number one. Transact item is sold. Use today's date, yes. Sold price would be, let's say we sold it for 15. Select a mode of transportation. So mode of transportation, we'll say this was standard shipping. So we need to also say if it was delivery, we don't want to queue this. So we'll say if shipping method, if ship method is equal to quote delivery, we want to set ship price equal to none, meaning that there was no ship price associated with this one, and we don't need to go ahead and do this prompt. But this is still going to ask us this question. So do I need to wrap this in an else and say that? So now if we run this, yes, transact item search number one, list items for sale, use today's date, sold price would be $25. We used delivery, perfect. And that should have saved delivery and $25. Nice. Woo. All right. Now I do want to make this a little bit cleaner. So if we go item number search, item number one, if we do that, we get that error. Perfect. If we get two, it's already for sale. Boom. So we need to go inventory, add item, test two, medium, cost would be 10, let's say 2, size large, yes, quantity 1. Transactions, item search, item number 2. So if I press list item for sale, I want to be listed for sale. So I would say I would just need another print call here, basically. Just to print that new line. Number 2 selected, print. Item number 2 selected. We ask for an input and say select transaction type. And then we print the item here. um, Also include the options along with the type of shipping, for example, 1, delivery, 2, standard within the create menu, or how else um, will the user know which number to choose? Or maybe you did that within the create menu method. Yeah, exactly. So in our create menu function, it corresponds each of the values. It enumerates each value in the list provided in the create menu attribute or whatever parameter. That list that is required, it enumerates them using that enumerate function, and then it provides, right, you have to give it its corresponding index and enumeration or whatever. Yeah, thanks so much for looking out though. Okay, so the only thing I don't like about it is that the menu is kind of ugly. So I do want to clean up the menus a little bit, but the overall process is pretty straightforward. Because I would like this to stay, but then have like an overall, like a title, say like convert item to for sale or convert item to sold, and then gives you the item and then asks you all the prompts for that specific category. So I'll have to work on that too. Okay, so now we've given a shipping charge when items are sold. So then what happens if we refund an item, right? What are the possibilities of refunding an item? So pardon me, guys. um, Roeth says, when are you transitioning to GUI? I was hoping, or my original plan was until I got like a working kind of prototype of the overarching project, like a working 1.0 version. But thinking about it, the further we get into it, the further and further it's going to be to, have to convert stuff over to the GUI. So, I mean, I definitely am interested in learning that, but it just would be a very another learning curve that we'd have to endure along with the other ones that we're doing with DSA and Python, with CS50X, with just writing our program. So I don't know. I'd be definitely interested in using Tkinter to create a GUI. I really think like a simple like Windows XP style retro GUI would be really nice here, and satisfy all of our needs. And it would give us the option to also maybe have like a scroll so we can scroll through our items in the items section and have our menus broken up via like tabs and stuff like that, and then have like transactions happen via buttons. So it would be really, really, intuitive and useful. So I have no problems with, converting it over with Tkinter if that's something that you guys we want to tackle one day, but it would just be a learning curve that we'd have to endure. What do you guys think? Hmm. Hmm. What do you guys think? Okay. Okay, what's next here? So, in a return feature. So, if the user returns an item, now we have the option to either let the user keep the item or or give it back. But hmm. So if they give the item back, If you were planning on studying AI machine learning, then I would prefer Streamlit over Tkinter. Gosh, I can't stop yawning, you guys. My bad. Can't stop yawning here. Um, what is the benefits over of Streamlit? I've never heard of Streamlit before. I've only heard of Tkinter. So what do you suggest? So I want to add in my main menu a settings menu. Right. I want to add in a settings menu. User enters for we're going to clear the terminal and then run settings menu. Okay. And then in our settings menu, right, we're going to initially get some user input using the create menu function. We're going to use a prompt of settings menu. Select a setting. Like that. And then we're going to give a list of all the different settings. So one of our settings that we're going to add in right now is going to be, well, obviously we need a main menu setting, but that'll be our last one. We need a discount code setting, right? We're going to say match case for the user input. If user or case one, case of one for discount codes, we're going to then get a function saying set discount codes function, and then that'll return um Professor has turned into Python demon, no doubt, grinding through this for sure. Roa, Tkinter is used to create desktop-based applications where using Streamlit you can create web apps, and Streamlit apps are portable and across many different devices. Okay, so my original plan was to create a desktop app, so um, I maybe we should try Tkinter first, and then if we want, transition into Streamlit from there. That probably just to see get some warm up with it. Most importantly, you don't need to add a lot of code or change your existing code. You can build your web app with just fewer lines or modifications to your existing code. Oh, so it would be easier to transition this using Streamlit. So we're going to set discount codes. Do we need a global variable here of discount codes are equal to an empty list here? And we're going to set discount codes this function here. So set discount code. So I'm just gonna write it out real quick. So what are we gonna do? This function will def set discount codes. This function is going to, what's it going to do? It's going to ask the user for input, and it's going to ask for discount code, new discount code, right? We're going to ask the user for discount code in the form of a stir. We're going to say if there is user input provided, then we're going to go discount codes.append user input, but I'm actually going to make this a set, right? And we need to add to the set the discount code rather than append. So this will be add user input to the set. We'll say try to do this, except if we get a except if we get a, is it a value error? What error is thrown when adding a dupe to a set? Python, you try to add a duplicate, and no error is thrown. The set simply ignores duplicate because it stores unique elements. So it'll just add it to the set then. If they do provide a user input here, else we're going to while true, we'll do the following. Else we're going to we'll just add it, and then so that adds the discount code to the set here. Well, I'm actually not sure if I want to add discount codes, actually, you guys, now that I think about it. Because the whole point of the discount code is that the user is able to add the discount code to receive some sort of benefit. But this is the user is always the owner of the item. So they would already know the discount ahead of time. The whole point of the discount code is just to remove the math aspect to the user, the customer really, and provide them a discount. So I don't think I want to do this. Right, I don't even think I want a discount code option here. I don't think it really applies. So if they say 1, we're going to just call main menu here. Right. So if I go run this now, yes. Now we have a settings menu. If I go 4, we get that, okay. Um, why did that not work? If I press 4. If the user enters 2, we don't want to break here. We want to continue. Or pass rather, because then it'll just continue via the create menu function. So create menu has a while loop in it, I believe. Yeah. So we don't need a while loop here. Bring all that in. We'll just clear the menu off the jump. And pass and loop. Okay. Go here. Yes. If I go exit, no. How did I handle the other ones? Call main menu here. That's what you call. So I press 2 here, we just bow out, right? Exit. If I press 1 and enter, now I press 4 exit, 2, we go back to main menu. 4 exit, yes, now we quit. There we go, perfect. That fixed that. So now if we go yes, enter, settings, now we have a settings menu and we can go back to main menu. Perfect. Cool. All right, got some chats here from you guys. Hey Tony, welcome in. I appreciate you coming in, leaving some messages and talking with us. Do you have ETL or pipeline experience? I want to work on an ETL project. What do you think the prerequisites are? The port scanner is almost done, hopefully. Do I need to understand DSA first? I'm going to information systems degree, so a lot of stuff I have to freelance to learn. You should first gather your requirements and then start looking for an ETL solution. Where is your data? Is it in a database or do you want to crawl a website? Or is it a cloud storage like S3? From there, you should plan everything. How and what transformations do you want to apply and what your target destination is. As a beginner, do you think I should just get a data set of Kaggle or a web scrape and API? I was going to web scrape NBA data from this season, clean the data, and do an ETL pipeline into SQL, and then do a dashboard. It depends on data. Maybe pandas will do it for you, or maybe not. And then you'll have to look for another transformation tools. Awesome. Sounds good, you guys. Cool, cool. Okay, so now what other attributes might be necessary for kind of computing these items? So I think, right, we can pre we can predetermine a discount, right, via the information we already have. We don't need to ask the user for a discount if one was applied to an item. For instance, now we're not using discount codes because I remember we changed it from the business owner is going to be the main user of the program. So the whole point of a discount code is to allow the consumer to be able to apply a code and get a discount with ease of access. So that doesn't really apply here to the situation. The owner, right, will have the direct power to apply discounts in any sort of fashion. Now, how can they do that? Well, we already are kind of doing it. We already are asking the user when we convert the item into a for sale item for a listing price and a date listed, right? The listing price will tell us, okay, we posted this item onto our storefront, onto our Instagram, onto our Depop, onto our whatever for X amount of dollars. Now, when we go to convert that item, that same item, into a sold item, it went from for sale to sold. We then ask the user for a general sold price. Now, we can then compute from there the difference between those two values to auto-generate the applied or inferred or, effective discount for this transaction. And then we can sum and we can apply the shipping charge, the the shipping charge. We can factor that in as a whole. And then if we wanted to, we could add in a shipping price, right? We have a charged shipping price, but we don't have a realized shipping price. We charge a customer a set fee to ship, but that fee may not resemble one to one the actual price of shipping, right? There might be a slight upcharge for packaging and whatnot, or whatever, insurance, all that kind of jazz. So in our shipping method, we might want to ask the user, right, for the shipping price, the consumer's shipping price, and then the owner's shipping price, right? The realized. So maybe we should make it shipping charge and shipping actualized cost. Right. So we might need another parameter in here for ship method, ship consumer price, and ship actualized price, right? Hey Tony, I'm not sure if that message was for me or for Rohith, but I am not in school right now. I graduated. For those that don't know, I have a degree in human biology and a minor in chemistry. I work as a formulation chemist for a biotech company where I make biological controls used in, diagnostics and clinical patients and things along those lines. And I've been teaching myself Python and various other programming resources for about 6 months now, and it's been really fascinating and to learn about. Yeah, so thanks so much for joining me here. Thanks so much, you guys. So maybe we should make the shipping price charged Shipping charge price, shipping price realized or actualized. Hmm. All right. I forgot to message chat here. I am. All right. All right. So now in our program, yes, transactions setting. Already sold. Sorry, you guys. I completely forgot to message the Discord that I was going. Well, I messaged the announcement, but I forgot to do my normal ping at everybody when we were live. So, so I've been live for the past hour and 40 minutes so far. So sorry if you're just now joining, you guys. Oh, I feel so bad. People were probably waiting. Oh my gosh, my fault. Um, Davies, welcome in. Hey, how's it going, dude? Welcome back. Hey Chase, how you doing? Welcome. What you been working on lately, Chase? How's school been going? You guys are enjoying the stream, could you guys please throw it a thumbs up and follow along to the channel? It helps to get other people. We've been getting picked up by the YouTube algorithm quite a bit. So you guys, for a lot of you guys have been telling me that I've been popping up on your home pages. So by throwing a like, it helps to get that suggestion to other home pages. Hopefully, I'm not sure exactly how the algorithm works, but I love just having you guys come in here and talk with me, makes it just so much more enjoyable, and it's really fun. So thank you guys. All right. So okay, so we've added in the ability to add in a shipping charge, right? Now, the thing is the price of the ship would be technically an expense. So I don't think we should categorize it as an attribute associated with the item on the item level, because unfortunately it is associated an expense. So maybe we make an expense class, and we can make an item expense class as well. Load in the item, provide it the item. Hey Devin243, appreciate you coming in. How's it going? Welcome, you guys. How you guys doing? So we're building our small business manager right now. Um, so tax calculation. So I haven't factored in any tax calculation per se at this level. Now, because that's on a state by state basis or a location by location basis. So I'm leaving it up to the user to have to report their tax accordingly. Now, so I'm keeping everything in gross dollar amounts, right? This is all pre-tax. So, but the user will be able to generate reports that can, help them make those decisions on how much tax they would owe for whatever. Um, but if the user is just selling an item, they sell it for $5. The only type of information you would need to know to get is the amount of money in tax that you spent on the item itself. So if you bought it for $5, you generated. So if you bought an item for $5, you obviously in some states were charged some sort of tax on that good. Now, when you go to report that that item remains in your inventory, or when you go and report that item as an expense, you receive the tax back as a credit, at least in the United States. The tax deduction for a business expense. So I think I'm leaving off the. Yeah. DE right now is saturated with many job postings, but if you're still in school, then learn DE, and there are a lot of opening source projects in DE domain, so you can then contribute to them. Thank you guys so much for liking. I appreciate you. Awesome, guys. Davies, is this project just off the dome or following a template? Yeah, this is completely from scratch, like from ground, from blank everything. I've written every line so far, like by myself and with the help of obviously chat and you guys. So it's come quite a long way from just the small program that we initially had. So it is doing something here, at least little by little. Chase, I'm not in school, but life is going well. Still working a lot or on self-driving stuff, working a lot on uh, Bayesian adaptive multi-fidelity sampling. Oh wow, that's a big mouthful. It sounds really awesome, Chase. Um, are you interested in trying to get a job for like an audio manufacturer, like a like EV company or something like that? Roa says, I'm an international student. Everyone around me is into TE, so looking at the market firsthand, I can definitely say that for every position, there are at least 10 candidates or even more. Yeah, Davey said, yeah, it's really cool, huh? It's cool that we've gotten this far. Just day by day, feature by feature, little by little, we've added on some stuff to accommodate this. So what we added on today is we refactored some things and some of our function names and our functions just to have them be simpler and easier to understand. And we also added in the instance of where we transact items for sale. Right, we need to add probably another item in here. We can convert item number 2. So we'll transact, we'll go main menu, transactions, item search. We'll search for item number 2. That gets pulled up. We'll transact this item as sold. We'll use today's date as sold. We'll give it a sold price of 100. Delivery method is, we'll say it was delivery, right? And then that saved those there. So it all gets populated there. So now we're at the point, you guys, where we can start to um, I don't really know of any additional parameters that we may need to add at this exact moment, right? We might want to add in some more for some more niche informations and mathematical calculations for computing like revenues and things like that, like gross revenue and for on the item basis. But I think for now, the individual item categories are kind of satisfactory. Like we have a status, activity status. Now the activity status doesn't change as the items transition from sold to whatever, from being normal to sold. The activity status is there for the representation of if the item is still in the system technically. right? If it's a sold item, it's still in the system. It still needs to be accounted for because it's used within our gross revenue. But by setting an item to active status false, rather than removing an item completely from the database and having a gap, right, a gap left in our item number sequence, we um, we will just keep the item at that select position, but set it to false to not include it in any sort of like statistical computations for the business. Like over these months, what items remain unsold? Well, we don't want to include it if it was an active item false because think of like an example where like an item maybe breaks or is faulty in some instance, or maybe it just is on the floor and it just won't sell, and we just are wanting to give up on the item. We're done having this just take up floor space. We're gonna move it out. So that's where that would that active status comes into play. It doesn't remove the item from the database, and it just removes it from being included in these computational calculations. um, I'm hoping for the best for you. This convo has been insightful and good night. Awesome. See you, Tony. Thanks for coming in and thanks for chatting with everybody here. Thank you so much, Adele. That's too kind. That's over the top for sure, but I really appreciate you so much helping me out and supporting me. You definitely don't have to do that, but you're great. Davey, I'm literally gonna pitch this to Thoma Bravo. What is Thoma Bravo? I'm not sure what that is. Johnny Bravo. Chase, I do open source contributions to a few self-driving companies, but yeah, I'd love to eventually work at some self-driving company. The big limit right now is just living in Northern Virginia. I live in big tech hub, but it's mostly government contractors and cloud engineering. Well, yeah, you might have to be willing to pack up shop and make a change. But it might be for the best, to get out and explore some new environments and see the world and some new areas, especially if it's doing something that you really enjoy. Now, just think that but it's never permanent. You can always go back. So, for me, I've lived in almost, over the past 4 or 5 years, I've lived in about 4 states, from Oregon to Idaho to Utah to California now. Um, so it's been quite the move over the past 4 or 5 years for me, just kind of going from place to place to place. But I found some joy in that I really have the freedoms as a quote unquote single male in terms of the government. I do have a girlfriend, but like in terms of the government, I can just kind of hop. I don't have like kids for expenses really, right? So I have some animals that are my best friends, but I like my dog and my cat. But yeah, as long as they're satisfied, I can just pick up shop and go. And so that liberty is pretty nice to have. You explained that well enough that I have no idea what you were talking about, and I still understood the point. Ah, all right, I'm not. I hear you. Hey, Ryan, welcome back. Davey said software PE. I'm sorry, I'm really bad at. Like I said, I'm pretty new. I'm not sure what PE means either. Sorry. Is it primary engineer or physical? I'm not sure. Sorry. Thanks so much for messaging and talking with me here. Okay, so now what? That's the question. Now what? Right? We have items that are loaded in. We can transact them and convert them and manage their data. They're saved in the database. Oh, private equity. That's right. Private equity. Gotcha. Yeah, Adele, I did. I had really long hair. I don't like paying for haircuts, and I like having different hairstyles. I kind of am a chameleon like that. I guess I don't know. I think it's pretty decent looking, I guess, for any kind of length really. So I'll just kind of get a cut and I'll let it grow out for about 9 months to a year, and then I will then just get a cut another cut. I just don't like paying for haircuts. But yeah, I'll just let it grow out, and yeah, we just cut it recently though. I started the channel, it was pretty long. Can you explain the database? Yeah, so the database we're using for this system is just a physical dictionary instance. And so in order to access, abundant amount of items in constant time, operations are O of one time, we can use a dictionary quite selectively by providing and saving the individual item numbers as the keys of each dictionary, and then saving the value associated to each key as just the object itself. So we actually had a couple suggestions to do that. Originally, I was storing everything in lists and having a list of lists, kind of creating like a matrix. But we had some suggestions. I think Anthony in the chat and Chase and some other people were suggesting to use dictionaries a few weeks back, or a dictionary, and have the key values just be the item numbers. And so then you can just access the item number key directly in the memory of the system without having to iterate through and see if it's even there, right? It will return a true or false if that exists in memory at any point, right? So all we're doing is just taking and loading an instance of an item. We are saving its item or item number as the key, and then just saving the object itself as the value to that key. And so that's the whole database pretty much. Now I don't need this discount codes anymore. Right, we can get rid of that. Yeah, so we can do that, and that's really cool. But I also am having I'm not sure exactly if this is a database rather, but all my data is being saved physically to files on the user's hard drive. I'm not using any cloud sources. I haven't gotten there yet in my learning. Hopefully in our CS50X course when we learn about SQL, someone in this chat today suggested that SQLite would be really useful for this. I unfortunately just have no idea what those are at the moment because I've never used them, but hopefully when we continue through our CS50X course, we'll get some experience with SQL as it gets introduced. Um, but we are currently saving everything in just files, and I do actually want to write a function. My goal is to write a function or some sort of implementation feature that will, using the date time module that we have imported, which obviously can track dates across the calendar years, will detect that if this program was loaded in with or was opened with on a new day or within some sort of time frame, or if X amount of items were added in from the previous program, or maybe just more of a periodic timing thing, would be like to create a hard save, meaning like a backup, right? We don't want these files being lost, because if the user loses this file or it's corrupt, their entire inventory system is gone. All of their information needed for tax purposes is gone. And that just will not work, unfortunately. That just cannot happen. So we have to have some sort of fail safe, and I think just periodic backups saved within the user's system somewhere would probably like be a good idea. So maybe we could have the user select a path upon first in the settings to have backup save in the path, and automatically by default they'll just download to the user's download file when those basic parameters are met. So if the user opens the program and it was X amount of days since the previous load, well, then we're going to go ahead and create a backup at this point, and then save that into according to the path either designated in the settings menu or just a default path of the user's downloads. So that's actually a really cool idea. So now that we're thinking of it, so this is how I come up with features, is just talking to you guys and brainstorming this stuff out loud. So we will a periodic timing based file system backup, right? Auto path to user downloads, path override in settings menu, right? Cool. Um, I like growing mine out, and then my parents make me cut it off. Yeah, I was the same way. My mom always made me cut it off growing up. Davies, I learned so much from these. Thank you. Yeah, that's of course. Whatever. If you happen to learn something from here, then that's a great byproduct of these streams. Now, I will say, just I will preface, like I always do, that I am a beginner as well. I've only been teaching myself for about 6 months. I don't have a degree in this. I didn't go to school for this. I went to school for physical chemistry and biology. So if I do get something slightly incorrect or maybe completely incorrect, no, that is probably bound to happen at some point, and I'm not ashamed or to admit that I messed up or failed in certain circumstances. So if you guys want to, please suggest the corrections and the necessary information to make sure I'm getting these things right. But that being said, just take the things that are going on the screen with a grain of salt, because this is that raw, authentic beginner POV, um, provided where it might not be 100% the right way to go about things. Adele says, Michael, I think MongoDB is a database that can be used as well. Periodic backups and maybe save the file as multiple copies in case one gets corrupted. Yeah, exactly. Does MongoDB does any like database software or offer some sort of like backup system? It's SQL based, I believe, MongoDB. Yeah, I think I can't remember if Python Crash Course, it might have talked about MongoDB. I'm not sure. Let's see what the part two talked about. It said, part two, alien invasion game with Pygame, data visualization with Matplotlib and Plotly, um, and then web apps in Django. Okay, yeah. No, so no MongoDB in that one in the Python Crash Course. All right. All right, sweet, you guys. Okay, we've been streaming for about 2 hours now so far. I think I am going to, unfortunately, I might just cut it here. This kind of seems like a good place to kind of stop. We did do a double feature today, you guys. This morning I streamed for over 4 hours doing the CS50X week zero problem set zero. We created a whole little game in Scratch using some sprites and some various characters and the block functions and stuff in Scratch. We won't ever probably use Scratch ever again, but it was just part of the CS50 requirement and that problem set to get that introduction with it. Um, my SQL has them believe a backup system, my SQL dump. Okay, cool. Yeah, well, Adele, we'll have to chat about this next time for sure. We definitely need to figure out a way, or maybe start to transition this into now that we have actually a system where can take items in and convert them. Maybe I'll just add in one more class handling of expenses, and then we will go from there and convert this into a GUI using Tkinter or whatever other GUI interface, and then get a database thing going. Because we can sit here and say, oh, we're going to do that eventually, but we're never going to learn it unless we actually just do it. So I think what I want to do is just add in one more class instance for tracking expenses and getting expenses loaded in and having an expense file. And then once we have that established, we'll transition this whole entire program into a GUI interface and get it really going here. So it'll be really cool. So yeah, this morning we started with CS50X, and then we did a little bit of DSA in Python. Did a couple of the practice problems, and then what else did we do this morning? What else did we do? We did CS50X, DSA in Python, and then we just brainstormed some of these features, and then this evening we actually wrote and implemented them. I wanted to take about 2 hours to actually write some code and practice, keep up on my coding and debugging skills here. Um, yeah. I haven't used SQL before, but I'll look into it. Yeah, me either. I'll take a peek at it as well. Hey, Zion Faith, welcome in. Is Eric Matthews author of Python Crash Course? Yeah, um, Eric Maths is the author of Python Crash Course. It's Matthes. If you want, Zion, I have a Discord link below where I supply a PDF of the third edition of Python Crash Course, the most recent edition. I also provide all of my personal notes I took while taking this course, as well as I post on this channel individual solution videos to the try it yourself problems. Included in my notes is a repo link to all of my solutions and my answers to those try it yourself problems. Um, as well as on my channel, I have just previous streams of me reading aloud the entire book to the stream, line by line, problem by problem, really going over it and learning it on my own. Um, that was back when we didn't really have anybody join the streams. It was pretty dead in here, and now we have usually have 15 to 25 people in here almost the whole time. So it's really great. And I really appreciate you guys joining me today. Please follow along to the channel if you want to connect with me in the future. I stream every single day for 2 hours minimum. Today we stream for over probably 6 hours. Tomorrow I'll probably do about another 5 or 6 hours as well. So also in my Discord, look for the announcement for tomorrow when we're going to be doing another watch along segment of the Harvard CS50X for lecture 1 in week 1. We're going to watch that and get another week going on. Yeah, that's what we were talking about earlier, just a few minutes ago. Is that we're going to add couple more features to this for getting expenses into this and getting expenses tracking, and then we're gonna then we'll have kind of a working prototype for this, and we can transition this into a UI and a graphic interface for our users to actually do on like a desktop platform, which would be really cool. Now you guys are going to be right there with me this whole time. We are peers in this. We are equals 1-to-1. If I'm going anywhere, you guys are coming with me. No doubt about that. I couldn't do this without you guys. You guys have helped me so much throughout this and give me tons of ideas and help me when I'm stuck and doing things wrong. You guys always come through with the right answers and the right mindset. So thank you guys so much for joining me today. Like I said, please follow along so I can connect with you guys in the future. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'll probably be on about 10 p.m. PST to continue on with CS50X week 1. We're going to watch that lecture and do a live watch along. And I will also record the lecture and cut it down and post another condensed version of that lecture. So thanks so much for coming in, guys. I'll see you tomorrow. Bye. Join on Discord and chat with me. I'll probably be in there for the rest of the evening, just on and off, while I eat some dinner and hang out and watch some shows. So join the Discord. I added in a voice chat, so if I see some people in there, I might hop in and say hello and just hang out for a little bit while I watch my Big Bang Theory and eat my dinner and pet my dog. So I'll see you guys